Where I'm from a small town in upstate New York called Norwich, New York. Really a town not much different than Wilkesboro, about the same size. We had about 10,000 people. Very quaint little town. Probably the only big difference is we grew cows and you all grow chickens down here. So growing up was pretty nice. It was a good family kind of area to grow up in. There were some issues, everybody has them growing up, but in today's society, if I had it all over to do again, if I could raise my kids, I'd raise them in that town because it was a pretty safe town. Everybody looked out after everybody. Then I moved to the South, and I have to admit, the strength of people's faith and belief down here in the South was a shock to me. And I didn't feel comfortable. I thought, ooh, these folks have got the foot up on me, and kind of avoided getting connected for, quite a while. It's funny because you can sit down now and look at the sequence of events leading up to the Parkinson's deal and stuff like that, and you can see how it was a stepping stone or a path laid out for me to follow. The path was laid out for me, and it was up to me to walk that path and understand I was being called to walk that path. For the longest time, probably 2 or 3 years before I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, I kept having this reoccurring dream that says, it's time. Time for what, And it just, all it was is, it's time. And I haven't told this in a long time, but, at the time I was experiencing the early obvious symptoms of Parkinson's. And, and shortly after I was diagnosed, actually right after I was diagnosed, that voice went away. And in reflecting on it, I think God was telling me it was time to face what's happening. Quit living a life of denial. There's something wrong with you. Your family's worried about you. Your kids are worried about you. Everybody's worried about you. But I was in complete denial. So I think he was telling me it's time to get on with the program. Accept go find out what's wrong and have faith that he's going to guide me through it. Because, until I faced it, I was not going to understand the power of the Lord. Okay? The power that he has instilled in all of us to be able to achieve and fight, and, the determination it's going to take and the faith it's going to take in him to have all this stuff happen so you can overcome it. I've had a lot of challenges and a lot of events, some of them pretty phenomenal, some of them kind of depressing, happened in my life. But I'd have to say that the major event that's affected me the most or challenged me the most in my life is how I was going to carry myself when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. I was diagnosed 5 years ago, probably symptomatic 5 years before that. I was going through denial. Everybody was telling me there's something wrong with me, and I said, nah, it's just old age creeping in. But it got to the point where I was unable to cut my own meat, barely able to feed myself. It took me half an hour to get my clothes on. So on my 55th birthday, I went and got diagnosed and was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So you reach that crossroads in life where you say, I can take a knee now, or I can fight through it. And I can be kind of stubborn, so I guess I decided I was going to meet it head on. And after a year of medication, symptoms didn't get any better. Actually, they were getting worse. So we decided that I was going to have brain surgery, deep brain surgery. which is a process of putting electrodes into the center of your brain, which is the area that affects the production of dopamine, which is what you lack when you have Parkinson's disease. And they implant a battery that continues to charge. So when you know that you're about to be wheeled in for brain surgery, and knowing that you're going to be awake for the whole scenario, it takes a deep-rooted faith and a lot of courage to tackle that. And I don't want to oversell this, but I think I handled it well. I was told I wouldn't be able to do things like hunt, hike, fishing, getting out if I fly fishing, I'm out in the middle of a river and the water's running. It's kind of a challenge, so I'll have to give the doctor that one, but I can still fish from the bank. So got to take point back. But I wasn't supposed to be able to play golf. They said, might as well hang it up on the golf. When I had my shoulder replaced, they said, you might as well give up hunting because your shoulder will never take the kickback of a gun. Buy a different gun. Buy one that I can handle, and so I was told a lot of things that I can't do, but I haven't found anything I can't do yet. I may be slow at it. It may not be pretty, but good Lord willing, I can do it, and I'm going to try it. I think it worries a lot of people, and I don't mean to worry them, that I'm, hard-headed and want to do these things. I've been given God-given gifts, blessed, and I'm going to use every single one of them that I was given until He takes it away from me. I'll play golf. I still do. Don't play as pretty as I used to. I used to be about a 12, 13 handicap golfer. Now, my handicap is my golf clubs. I don't swing as good. I don't hit it as far. But as long as I can find people that don't mind playing with me, I'm going to play. Because I've been blessed with the determination to do it. Don't tell me I can't do it because I'm gonna. I broke my foot playing golf a couple of weeks ago. Doctor said 4 to 6 weeks. Last week I went out and hit a couple buckets of balls on the range just because I didn't want to lose what I'd gained. Will I have it forever? No. But I'm going to have it and use it as long as I can. I'm not so naive to realize that I'm going to be able to do this forever, but I'm going to try. He's my number one rock. My wife is my number two rock. It's something you can't take lightly. You have to acknowledge His presence and His awesome power. I hate to use that because God has power, but He's got love too, and I don't want it to get mixed up in the translation. But without Him showing me in subtle ways, I'm not the kind of guy that God comes up and says, "We're going to have a conversation today." It's funny. It's like almost like God's got a sense of humor. He will give me. I'll be in a situation. And I'll pray for strength and assistance and so on and so forth. And it's like I said earlier. He suddenly says, where do you think the answer is? And it's usually in my heart. It's usually in my heart. I hope that I've touched somebody somewhere along the line and changed their life. That would be the most important. I don't want to keep my experiences tucked inside me. Don't share them, and maybe like I said earlier, have a key or an answer that somebody's been looking for, or maybe I don't. But at least I got to share my experiences and show that you can have positive stuff come out of negatives. And I think that's probably it in a nutshell. There's a lot of positives that can come out of a negative, and I'm trying to capitalize on every one of them. And I hope that that's what they remember for. He didn't go down to his knees and give up. He picked himself up by the bootstraps. He walked down the path that Christ laid before him, and he made something